The temple should not be this quiet. For centuries, this place echoed with chanting voices, burning incense, and footsteps from pilgrims who came to honor the gods. The stone floors once trembled with the movement of priests carrying sacred offerings beneath towering columns carved with the stories of divine kings. But today, the halls of the temple feel strangely hollow, as if the entire world has stepped outside and forgotten to return. You walk slowly through the long corridor of pillars, the morning light pouring through the broken roof stones and stretching across the dusty floor. The statues of the gods still stand where they always have, silent guardians of a faith that once ruled the lands of the Nile. Their carved eyes stare forward without judgment, without comfort, as though they are waiting for something that has not happened for a very long time. You remember when the temple was full. Crowds gathered before dawn. Pilgrims traveled across deserts and rivers just to stand within these sacred walls. The gods were honored with food, incense, gold, and songs that echoed across the city. Pharaohs themselves once walked these halls, bowing before the statues and asking the heavens for guidance. But the pharaohs are gone now. Their palaces stand empty, their banners torn down by foreign rulers who no longer speak the language of the gods. The new governors build their own temples, pray to their own deities, and laugh quietly at the ancient rituals that once controlled an empire. Yet you remain. You are the last priest of this temple, the final servant of gods that the world has begun to forget. Each morning you still perform the rituals exactly as they were taught to you. You wake before the sun rises above the Nile and enter the inner sanctuary where the great statue of the great god stands waiting in darkness. You wash the stone figure with sacred water, dress it in clean linen, and place offerings of bread and fruit at its feet. There is no audience anymore. No worshippers kneel behind you. No choir sings from the temple courts. Only the sound of your own breathing fills the chamber. Sometimes you wonder if the gods still listen. The stories say that gods grow strong when people believe in them. Their power rises with every prayer whispered in the darkness and every offering left upon their altars. But what happens when the prayers stop? What happens when the world simply moves on? You step outside into the temple courtyard and gaze across the city that once worshipped these gods with unwavering devotion. The markets are still busy, but no one walks toward the temple gates anymore. Children run through the streets playing games that have nothing to do with divine blessings or sacred stories. The gods have become old memories. Some people say the old gods have died. But you refuse to believe that. The gods are eternal. They existed before the first temple was built, and they will remain long before the last stone crumbles into sand. The only thing that can truly fade is their memory, and memory is a fragile thing. That is why you stay. Each day you walk through empty halls, lighting torches that no one will see. You clean altars that receive no visitors. You whisper ancient prayers that echo against cold stone walls. You do these things because someone must remember. As the years pass, the temple slowly begins to decay. Wind carries sand through broken doorways and settles into quiet corners of the sanctuary. Paint flakes from the walls, where vibrant colors once told the stories of gods creating the world. Sometimes you discover footprints in the dust. Not worshippers, thieves. They come quietly at night, hoping to steal golden relics from forgotten temples. But when they see you standing in the dark halls, holding your ceremonial staff, they often turn and leave without a word. Even thieves seem uneasy stealing from gods that still have a priest watching over them. Yet you know this cannot last forever. Empires rise and fall like the flooding waters of the Nile. The world beyond these walls continues to change in ways that the ancient scriptures never predicted. One day, the temple roof collapses further, allowing sunlight to flood the sacred hall where shadows once lived. Plants begin to grow between the stones, pushing slowly through cracks that widen with every season. Nature is reclaiming the house of the gods. You continue the rituals anyway, even if the world has forgotten them, even if the gods themselves have grown silent. Because if you leave this temple, if the rituals stop completely, the memory of these gods might disappear forever. And if the memory dies, then perhaps the gods truly will vanish. The sun sets over the Nile as you light the evening torches along the temple walls. Their flames flicker in the growing darkness, casting moving shadows across the ancient carvings of divine figures watching over the land. You kneel before the central altar one last time tonight. The city outside grows quieter with each passing year. The temple grows older, weaker, closer to collapse. But your voice still rises into the silent chamber. You whisper the sacred words that priests have spoken for thousands of years. A prayer for the gods, a prayer for memory, a prayer that somewhere, somehow, the world might remember them again. And as the final torch burns beside the altar, you realize something strange. Even if no one else remembers the gods, they are not completely alone, because you are still here. And as long as one priest remains to speak their names, the gods of Egypt will never truly disappear.